In today's crazy competitive job market, every company is looking for that special edge. Well, there's a strategy out there that's a total game changer, but a lot of folks overlook it. It's called employer branding. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you how it can become your company's secret weapon.
Let me just start by asking you a question. And seriously, think about this, especially if you're in any kind of leadership role. What if you could take one of your biggest expenses, the cost of hiring new people, and just slice it in half? Sounds a little too good to be true, right? Well, it might be closer than you think.
There's the number, 50%. Having a really strong, authentic employer brand can literally cut your cost per hire in half. I mean, just let that sink in. We're not talking about a tiny budget tweak. We're talking about a fundamental shift that could completely change the game for your recruitment budget. And believe me, the benefits do not stop there. Right, so it's not just about getting people in the door cheaper. A great employer brand helps you hang on to the amazing talent you already have. We're talking about a potential 28% drop in employee turnover. So think about that combo. You're spending way less to hire people, and you're spending less to replace the people who leave. It's a huge win-win. Look, those first two stats are absolute knockouts, but honestly, they're just the tip of the iceberg. A powerful employer brand creates this incredible ripple effect of good things all across the company. Let's look at a couple more of these advantages. First off, it basically turns your company into a magnet for the best talent. When people know you're a fantastic place to work, the top professionals in your field don't just apply for jobs. They actively start looking for ways to get in. You go from hunting for talent to having talent hunt for you.
And what about your current team, the people who are already there? A strong brand is like a constant reminder of why they joined you in the first place. It builds this real sense of pride and connection. And that leads directly to people being more engaged and more loyal. People stick around because they feel like they matter.
And finally, let's be real. In the world we live in, what happens inside a company doesn't stay inside a company. When you have a great internal culture, it just naturally spills out online. Your own employees become your best storytellers, sharing and posting and organically boosting your reputation in a way that no marketing budget ever could. So, we've seen all these incredible benefits. But what exactly is employer branding? Let's get down to brass tacks and define what we're really talking about here. At its heart, it's the whole strategy you use to manage your reputation as a place to work. It's about being really intentional about the story you tell the outside world and, just as importantly, the actual experience you create for the people inside. Now, right at the center of any great employer brand is something called the EVP, or the Employee Value Proposition. The easiest way to think about it is this. It's the promise. It's the deal you make with your team. It's everything they get, the culture, the benefits, the opportunities, in exchange for their hard work and talent. And while the fancy term employer branding only showed up in 1996, the idea itself is, well, it's really old. The concept of being an employer of choice has been around for centuries, from workers just trying to find decent conditions, all the way to pioneers like Henry Ford, who realized that taking care of his employees was actually good for business. Okay, enough with the theory. Theory is great, but let's see what this actually looks like in the real world, because some of the biggest and best companies out there are absolute masters of this.
I mean, think about Google, right? They're famous for innovation and awesome perks. That culture doesn't just make cool products, it pulls in the smartest people who want to be a part of it. Or Starbucks, who put such a huge focus on their people that they cut their turnover in half. Netflix built its brand around freedom and responsibility, which attracts top performers who hate being micromanaged. And Toyota's entire system is built on respect and always getting better. See the pattern? They all defined their promise and then they delivered on it. So whose job is all this anyway? Is this a marketing thing, an HR thing? The short answer is yes, it's both. To really make this work, you need marketing and HR working together in a super tight strategic partnership.
And here's how that partnership works. Think of your marketing team as the storytellers. They're the ones who craft the message and get it out into the world. But HR? They're the experience makers. Their job is to make sure that the awesome story marketing is telling is actually true once you're on the inside. When those two are perfectly in sync, what you get is a brand that's not just powerful, but also completely authentic.
Okay, so we've covered the what, the why, and the how. But I've saved the single most important, most powerful, and honestly most overlooked piece of this puzzle for last. Your company's ultimate secret weapon. Forget about all the money you could spend on ads and recruiters for a second. Because the most believable, the most influential voice for your company's brand is already on your payroll. It's your own team.
See, when your employees genuinely love showing up to work, they become your ambassadors, naturally. They tell their friends about how great it is, they refer other amazing people to come work there, they build up your reputation. Their voice is just so much more real and trusted than any official company statement could ever hope to be.
And that all leads us to one final, really important question, the one I want you to take back with you. If you could be a fly on the wall and hear what your employees are really saying about your company, would it be the story you want them to tell? Because at the end of the day, their story is your employer brand.